Hello everyone, this is Chris B and welcome to Simply Delicious. Today I'm going to make meatloaf, and actually I'm going to make my grandmother's meatloaf with a little bit of variation to make it my own because my grandmother used to make a delicious meatloaf, and I want to share that recipe with you today. And this meatloaf is like my channel, Simply Delicious, so it's going to be good. And it is simple ingredients that you put together real quickly to make a delicious meal. So in this glass bowl right here, I am going to take this meatloaf mix. And in this meatloaf mix, we have beef, pork, and veal, okay? And I'm gonna use a little bit of tomato paste, and I'm gonna use some bell pepper and onion mixed together with 1 egg. And my grandmother would just put a little bit of Lowry seasoning salt. I'm out of Lowry, so I'm going to use some Tony's Creole seasoning, and I'm going to use my Greek seasoning, okay? And also, the thing that my grandmother used to love to add to her meatloaf, instead of breadcrumbs, she would use oatmeal. So I'm going to use the oatmeal like my grandmother would. Some of these seasonings, like I said, she wouldn't do, but this is basically what it is because, you know, when she cooked it, it was pretty simple. You know, she just did the Lowry seasoning salt and some black pepper, and then she would do the bell pepper and the onion, and then she would do the eggs, and then just regular 80-20 ground beef, okay? So first of all, I'm going to start here with adding my meatloaf. Let me push my camera back a little bit so you can see it. See me putting it in the bowl here. There we go. All right. So I'm going to take this ground beef, and I'm going to take the back of the spoon because we'll just use what we got because it don't really make a difference. And I just need to open this up. Okay. And right now I have, let me see how much ground beef is this? This is 1.38 pounds of ground beef. Now, you know, when we cook stuff, we don't necessarily measure it, okay? That's the beauty of cooking, you know, versus baking. Is not exact. It can be, but generally you just cook to your taste. All right, so we got our ground beef here in the bowl. And then everything else, we're just gonna basically dump it in, all right? So I'm gonna add the seasoning first. I'm gonna add some Greek seasoning, okay, which is salt and pepper and other stuff. And then I'm gonna add some Tony's to it too, okay? All right, and then I'm gonna take, ooh, that pepper ain't no joke. Gonna add a little bit. Oh my goodness, this is too funny. That Tony's, woo, that is strong. It's got some pepper in it. It just went up in my nose. All right, so I'm just gonna add I would say about a half a cup of quarter to a half a cup of oatmeal. And then I'm gonna add in the bell peppers and the onions. Yum, yum, yum. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and crack this egg open. Drop that in there like so. Boom. All right. And now I'm going to add a little bit of this tomato paste. You don't want to add a lot, just a little bit. A little bit goes a long way. Okay. And, okay, so we got all that done. And now, with my really clean hands, as you can see, I've already washed them, all you want to do is just get in here and work all these ingredients in. So I'm going to grab the camera real quick, and y'all excuse all the bumping around and everything. And I'm just going to show you what I got in the bowl, and then I'm going to mix it up, okay? All right. All right, let's get that shell out of there. There we go. All right. So this is what we have in the bowl. All right, there it is in the bowl. And then we're just gonna mix it together, okay? So now I'm just gonna mix it up with my hands. All right. All right, let's do this. So I'm just gonna mix it up with my hands. All right. And this is the fun part to me, because you just wanna just basically squeeze it together and work that egg in there. So the egg goes into the meat, and the egg helps to congeal everything in the meatloaf, help it to stay together, and it also brings moisture in as well. So egg is like basically it's a binder. Okay, so you put the egg in it, and you don't need a whole lot. You just, with this amount of ground beef, I would only use one. If I had 2 pounds of ground beef, I would use 2 eggs. So roughly, if you want a recipe, I would basically say an egg per pound of meat that you have is what you need to really bind it, okay? And then you just want to fold it over with your hands like you see me doing, the fun stuff. All right, so we're just gonna bring this together. All right. And once it's in there real good, and I only add a little bit of seasoning to it. Like you say, you don't want to go overly crazy with seasoning, because you just want to put some in there to add it in, because you got to remember that, especially when you're using one of these seasoning blends, a lot of times they have salt already in them. So you have to be very careful, because you don't want your food salty, okay? Nobody wants salty food, okay? But you have to have some salt in there to taste it, and also to really permeate the meat so that the meat can stay moist, okay? Because the one thing about meat is primarily water. It's like 70% water. And so a lot of it is gonna come out, and if you cook stuff too long or whatever like that, okay, so this is how it looks when it's like all mixed up and everything. And so we got that mixed in real good, okay? And then I'm just gonna wash my hands real quick. And then I'm gonna put this in the loaf pan.